Hi, welcome to the Vegematic show. And as a member of the Vegematic family, you're entitled to one free roll of toilet paper with every subscription. It's hard to make an offer like this, it's very difficult. However, I have stretched my toilet paper out as a gesture to you, a goodwill gesture to you, the subscriber. Anyway, there's a lot of important things to talk about this week. There's a lot going on. There is. So now that we've all been placed in lockdown, our only means of social communication is through the internet. And that gives companies like Google the right to have an even greater mining of information. You cannot have a quiet one-on-one conversation with somebody. So we got to do it over the internet. And we got to record it for posterity. It's going to be in there into one of these great big data collection buildings like the one in Utah that uses 80 million gallons of water a day and keeps it cool so that they can easily look up any information on any non-conforming citizen that they wish. Interestingly enough, I hear all kinds of bubbling under the surface on the interwebs. I hear the bubbling of dissent, the bubbling of revolution, the little plip-plop that starts to happen before the whole thing blows. I've heard talk of a general strike. It's very interesting what a general strike could do in this lockdown situation. It could be highly effective, and they might be motivated to do some good things for workers for a change, but I think they would just force you to work at gunpoint. So I hear the island in New York is getting filled up with mass graves, and they're paying prisoners from Rikers $6 an hour, which is big money, I guess, if you're in the joint. $6 an hour to bury the dead. And that's what the dead are worth. Paying prisoners $6 an hour. Yes. It's kind of ghoulish when you think about it. Bring out your dead. Bring out your dead. I don't know. We're not dead yet, but we will be soon, all of us. So we might as well just get on the cart.
Not dead?
Yes, he is.
I'm not. He isn't?
Well, he will be soon. He's very ill.
I'm getting better. No, you're not. You'll be stone dead in a moment. Oh, I can't take him like that. It's against regulations.
I don't want to go on the car.
Oh, don't be such a baby. I can't take him.
I feel fine.
Well, do us a favour.
And I'd like to wish everybody a happy Easter. Easter is a wonderful time in spring, and it speaks to regeneration, rebirth, regrowth. And all these seeds are under the ground and they're germinating and they're sending up sprouts, and some of them get to the top and they go, I'm out of here, man. No, I can't do it. And they try and get back into the seed pod, but it's too late, and they give up before anything really happens, like before they sprout into anything. And magnificence of life. So happy Easter. Isn't this isolation fun? Isn't it just get you right here, that you're doing your part, that you're sitting at home doing nothing, navel gazing and watching Netflix, and the world doesn't need you. They don't. Maybe they're just proving by shutting all this stuff down is that, yeah, we don't need you. Ultimately, we all need to get back to the garden, because we are compost and we are golden. I think that's how that song went. Anyway, it's a Saturday, Easter Saturday, and it's very quiet in the city. You could hear a pin drop. Can anybody hear it? I think I heard a pin drop. So businesses, all unnecessary businesses are closed, are unessential, I believe they called it. Walmart's still open. Yeah, you gotta sell those things. You gotta you don't want to take people's Wally World away. Anyway, have you ever thought that maybe the reason Walmart is allowed to stay open is because sure they carry groceries, but they carry all kinds of other shit that nobody else is allowed to sell. So this is just going to be a consolidation of power. All those businesses that can't survive the shutdown and are running on thin margins, and any last vestiges of mom and pop businesses that are out there will be swallowed up by Omnivore Corporation, and pretty soon all we'll have are giant Walmarts everywhere, on every corner. Walmart as the only retailer. And well, they might allow Amazon too, because then they can keep you in your house while they deliver their crap to you. Bezos needs it. Bezos needs his money. He wants a big fireworks display to spend his billions on space exploration. What a noble cause that is, with the amount of suffering and evil and no, Bezos, you're not getting away from the earth. You're gonna be stuck inside your bunker, and eventually your food will run out, and your oxygen tubes will be blocked by the people up on the surface, and you'll die a miserable, horrible death alone. And will I shed a tear? Well, no, I'll be dead by then probably too, like everybody else. But I won't shed a tear. I wonder how these people can sleep at night that have billions. Can anybody even conceive of spending $1 billion? You could just spend it constantly, do nothing else, and still have billions of dollars. But you can't just give it away, because then it wouldn't be yours anymore. And those numbers are really important to psychopathic people. That's it. They're addicted to the numbers. They like to hoard numbers. They like to think that they worked hard for it. They're entitled to that much of the wealth. That sure, they may own more than half of the world's population, but it's never enough, I mean, it's just they're special people. They're different. Their shit doesn't stink, and they don't bleed when they're cut. So I've heard rumblings of something called a rent strike. A rent strike. And people are hanging white sheets in their windows to signify that they are participating in a aforesaid rent strike. I think that's great, but I would also be worried about being targeted when the militarized police come down the road and start aiming for places. They'll probably pick the rent strikers' places first. I'm afraid that any general strike or rent strike will be brutally put down. Brutally. The authoritarian police state that surrounds us is determined to keep us in our places, to keep us quiet, while we endure the misery brought on by the kakistocracy, the plutocracy, the corporatocracy, whatever you want to call it. Those foul individuals who feel entitled to rape the planet for their own benefit and to exploit their workers until they drop It's just business. And anywhere they go, death, war, and brutality follows. I had been considering doing a live stream of the Vegematic show, but I realized that I am just not a live stream kind of guy. I'm really quite shy and reserved. That's why I have a YouTube channel, because I'm so shy and so reserved. But that is not really the reason. The reason is that I'm just not into the whole live thing, because then if I screw up and say something stupid, it's out there. There's nothing I can do. I can't take it back. It was live, damn it. And so I've decided to take the path of being less popular, perhaps, but anybody that does for some reason want to witness me behaving with other people in a live manner, it's not real life but a massive simulation, can tune in Monday night to the Natural Progressive, where Christine will be having her usual motley crew assorted and assembled just for you. So that might be worth checking out if you've got nothing to do, and how many of us have anything to do these days? We are in lockdown in authoritarian times. We have to get used to the new normal. The new normal is never going to be normal. What is normal? Normal, that's an interesting word. He's normal. He's not creative at all. He's just normal. Now, one of my friends in the comment section actually recommended I hear Murder Most Foul by Bob Dylan, and it's been a while since I listened to Mr. Zimmerman, but I was shocked. I listened to his, I don't know, I think it's a 16-minute poem that covers America from the time of the Kennedy assassination up to the present police lockdown state, and it was actually quite moving. So if you haven't checked out the Bob Dylan video, the ones with the lyrics printed up are probably a better thing to have, because let's face it, Bobby's vocal stylings aren't exactly improving with age, shall we say, charitably. But it's worth it. It's worth watching the whole 16 minutes of it, because the words are absolutely amazing, and so speaks so much truth, brings it all into focus. The slow decline of democracy into this thing where we are now, that's neo-fascism. I don't know what to call it. It's not really. Well, maybe it's inverted totalitarianism, like Sheldon Wallen coined that phrase, and Chris Hedges has used it a lot. But I don't even think that describes what we're living through. What we're living through is the extreme kakistocracy, the rule by the most incompetent, vile, corrupt, and ignorant. And it's all our own fault. It's our own fault for not paying attention, letting things slide, going about our daily lives, not having time really to engage in citizenship. How many people have had to, over the past 20, 30 years, increasingly work 2 jobs and have no time to actually engage, and now that we cannot engage, where they've got us where they want us, in our homes, helpless, frightened little sycophants. And because of this overwhelming fear and panic, and terror, state of terror that the entire populace is in, those in charge are able to quietly pass laws that nobody notices and nobody takes the time to pay attention to. Here in Canada, Trudeau just delivered light armored vehicles that are made right here in London, Ontario, to the Saudis. Well, nobody was supposed to be looking. A few people noticed, but I don't think there was much mention of it in the mainstream, if at all. It was all wall to wall. Corona, 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 Corona. I go onto my YouTube page, and you know, sometimes you want to forget about all this shit. You just want to, I don't know, talk to old friends and stuff. But all I see on every single video, virus this, virus that, be afraid, virus, 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 Corona, 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 Corona. Overload, man. Absolutely mental overload, okay? Everybody knows what's going on. And because everybody knows what's going on, we don't need to hear this 24/7 all the time, all the time, all the time. Let's find some other things to do with our time besides huddling in fear in our living rooms or basements. As I happen to be privileged enough to live in a place that has a basement, and being a long-time cellar dweller, it gives me, you know, great nostalgia for the days when I lived in basement apartments. Now I have my very own basement, and it's much better to own your basement, because then you live in it by choice if you want to. You know, in the summer I come down here because it's cool. I'm getting off track, aren't I? Well, I guess that's everything for this week that I can think of to present to you, because there's so little happening in my life. There's so little to report on as I search the usual suspects and the usual websites. Yeah, we're destroying the planet quicker, even though we're maybe giving the planet a little break, because there's not quite as much fossil fuel being burnt right now. But this just shows it could have been done 40, 50 years ago. But we didn't. We just thought, no, money, 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 money. Got to just keep our middle class suburban lifestyle intact with our chemical fertilizers, our minivans, and our satellite TVs, bringing you the best in entertainment from all over the world. Remember? Yeah. How come it's you still got no choice? You got no choice in anything. Well, you got choice to watch Vegematic, but not really, because Vegematic keeps getting hidden and weird things happen to the Vegematic channel, and it's like sometimes I feel like I get less views than a Bible at a porn convention, but I still hang in there, and through this I figure that we need to draw strength from each other, just knowing that there are others out there, probably millions of us, who are not real cool on the way the world is being run, and can see the catastrophe, the writing on the wall. I mean, they call you a doomer or whatever. It doesn't matter what they call it. It matters what's going to happen. And it's pretty unbelievable what's coming down in the next few years is going to make World War II look like a picnic. That's my opinion. But then again, I'm a cheerful guy. How about you?